Imagine you are sitting alone in a quiet room. The lights are low, just enough for shadows to dance gently across the walls. A soft breeze moves through the curtain. You place your hand over your heart and just listen. No one needs anything from you here. There is no task, no timeline, no mask, just breath, soft and slow. Inhale, as if inviting peace to rest inside your chest. Exhale, like letting go of something you didn't know you were holding. Have you felt tired? Tired of pretending to be okay when your soul feels weary? Tired of putting on a smile while your heart quietly aches? Tired of trying to stay positive when the world inside you feels like fog? Tonight, we don't chase positivity. We don't chase anything. We simply sit, you and me, like two old friends, under a quiet sky. John Brahm once said, "Letting go is not losing. It's winning over the fear of loss." Tara Brach whispered, "Freedom is real, but we can live our whole lives trapped in the same old patterns." These patterns, they are the quiet voices inside us. The ones that say, "I'm not enough. Good things never last. I need to be careful. Life always takes away what I love." The mind is like a river. If we keep steering it toward the same dark bend, it forgets how to find the light. But light is still there, just waiting, not to erase your pain, but to help something gentle grow from it. As Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "No mud, no lotus." So tonight, we don't turn away from the mud. We breathe with it. Close your eyes, if that feels safe for you. Notice your breath, like the wind moving gently through tall grass. No pushing, no fixing, just presence. You've carried so much. A silence that was never listened to. A goodbye you never asked for. A story you couldn't speak. Place your hand on your heart again. Ask softly, "Can I let go, just a little?" Not everything, just a thread, just enough to let in a flicker of light. You don't have to be ready. You just have to be honest. Here, now. This podcast isn't here to fix you. You're not broken. It's here to sit beside you in your softest moments, to remind you, you don't need to earn rest. You don't need to prove worth. Sometimes, the bravest thing is to let yourself feel. Sometimes, healing begins, not with answers, but with silence, a sacred hush, where something forgotten starts to breathe again. Tara Brach calls it radical acceptance, not giving up, but saying, "This is here, and I will meet it with tenderness." You are not alone. Can you feel that? This stillness is not emptiness. It's space, room for something new. Let yourself rest in it. Now, one last thing. Ask your heart, "What do I need that I have not allowed myself to receive?" Let the question float, like a feather resting on water. No need to answer. Not tonight. Just breathe and be. If tears come, let them. Even the sky lets go of rain. Even the moon takes time to wax and wane. And tonight, you too may simply rest. Imagine you're sitting alone in a quiet room, soft light, like moonlight on your skin. No noise, just breath, and your beating heart. Out there, life continues. But here, in this moment, you don't have to do anything. Just be. Just breathe. Inhale, like inviting a kind wind into your chest. Exhale, like releasing something heavy you've held too long. Have you been tired? Tired of pretending you're okay? Tired of thinking positive When inside feels empty, tired of chasing the light that never seems to reach you? Tonight, we're not chasing anything. We sit, you and me, in quiet company. Ajahn Brahm said, letting go is not losing. It's winning over the fear of loss. Tara Brach said, freedom is real, but we can live our lives trapped in old patterns. Those patterns whisper, I'm not enough. Good things won't last. I must protect myself from love. The mind is a river. If we always steer it toward the dark bend, it forgets how to find the light. But light is still there, waiting, not to erase your pain, but to help something bloom. Thich Nhat Hanh said, no mud, no lotus. So tonight, we don't run from the mud. We breathe with it. Now, if you feel safe, close your eyes. Feel your breath, like wind through tall grass. No effort, no fixing, just presence. What are you holding that quietly hurts you? A memory? A silence? A belief? I don't deserve peace. Place your hand on your heart. Gently ask, can I let this go? Just a little? Not all of it. Just enough for one drop of light to enter. You don't need strength, only honesty. Right here, right now. This isn't to fix you. You're not broken. You're just tired. Sometimes, healing begins in stillness. Tara Brach calls it radical acceptance. Not giving up, but meeting your truth with tenderness. You are not alone. Can you feel it? This silence is not empty. It's space where something new can grow. Let yourself stay here. One more breath. Now ask, what do I need that I've never allowed myself to receive? Rest? Kindness? To be seen without needing to be fixed? Let the question float, like incense in a quiet room. No answers tonight, only feeling. And if tears come, let them. Even the sky lets go of rain. Even the moon takes time to wane. And tonight, so can you. Just breathe and be. Train your mind to see the good in life. Imagine walking down a quiet path. After the rain, the ground is soft. Leaves still hold drops of water. And a small bird, cold, trembling, still sings. Have you ever felt like that bird? Fragile, tired, but still longing to sing. Even if no one hears? Here's a gentle truth. The mind wasn't built to see beauty first. It was built to protect us from danger. Long ago, survival meant watching for threat. So the mind learned to scan for pain, for loss, for what might go wrong. It still does. It's not because you're negative. It's because you're human. Tara Brach once said, perhaps the biggest tragedy is that freedom is real, yet we live trapped in the same old patterns. What patterns live in you? Maybe it's a childhood without being seen, a moment you were shamed for feeling, a lesson that said, you must be strong to be loved. These messages become quiet beliefs. I must stay in control. I must not be weak. Good things never last. And then, we begin to live on guard. Even when we love, we prepare to lose. Even when we're happy, we wait for the fall. Even in light, we only see cracks. But no one is born afraid of the light. We only learn to fear it when light once hurt us. Now, try this. Write down one small moment that warmed your heart recently. A kind word, a quiet morning, a cup of tea someone made for you, or maybe the way you didn't explode When you felt misunderstood, write it. Hold it gently in your palm. The mind may whisper, "It's nothing." Whisper back, "The small things grow the big ones." Your heart doesn't need to rush. It just needs to remember. It can still feel warmth. Ajahn Brahm said, "Freedom, compassion, letting go are not found by doing, but by being still." Now ask yourself, am I still seeing life through an old lens? Maybe it's the lens of a child once blamed, or a grown-up once betrayed. That lens helped you survive. But now, you can try taking it off, not to forget the past, but to ask, is there something gentle here, now, that I've never seen before? Take a breath, place your hand on your heart, and ask softly, if I allowed it, what goodness might show up today? A kind glance? A quiet message? Or maybe just you, sitting here, not running anymore. The seed is already there. You don't need to force it to grow. Just give it light, a little, each day, like the small bird singing in the mist. Your heart, too, wants to hear you are worthy of something gentle. Train your mind to see the good in life. Sometimes, we want light to come, like lightning, bright, loud, breaking the dark. But true light, healing light, comes gently, like breath, like morning, through quiet leaves. There are days when nothing seems to bloom. You try, you wait, you do everything right. But the garden inside still feels cold and bare. In those moments, can you be kind to the soil? Can you trust that even unseen, something is shifting? Like a seed, learning to believe. In spring, Jack Cornfield said, "The heart is a garden. It can grow compassion or fear, resentment or love. What seeds will you plant today?" Often, we plant the wrong seeds, without knowing. Every time you say, "I'm not enough. I always fail. No one really cares." That's a seed. It roots deep, and slowly, we forget that joy was ever here. But grace says, you can replant, not all at once, not by force, but with a soft intention. Start by speaking to yourself the way you would to a child just learning to walk. Would you yell when they fall, or hold out your hand and say, "It's okay, let's try again"? That child is still inside you, still hoping someone will speak softly, still waiting to be seen without being perfect. Now, take a breath, whisper inward, "It's okay to rest. It's okay to feel. You are safe now." Breathe again, and ask, what seed do I wish to plant in my heart today? Maybe patience, maybe gentleness, maybe just silence. Train your mind to see the good in life. Have you noticed how goodness often arrives quietly? No noise, no knocking. It simply sits beside you, like an old friend who needs no introduction. The mind chases the loud, the urgent, the dramatic, but the heart knows how to receive the small things, the ones that warm us. Without a word, a kind look from a stranger, a quiet moment without guilt, an ordinary afternoon with nothing wrong. You don't need a perfect life. You just need a heart that hears what is soft. When your mind looks for flaws, pause and ask, what's the smallest good thing I noticed today? At first, you may not find anything, That's okay. Keep asking. Every day. Like planting a question into quiet soil. One day, an answer will rise. Like a green sprout after rain. Thich Nhat Hanh said, "You can be happy right now. Just by breathing and seeing what is beautiful. You don't need to change the world. Just the way you look at it. The mind is habit, and habits can be relearned. You can learn to see life as if for the first time. Without judgment, without fear, just presence. And then, the small kindnesses will begin to glow, like soft light on still water. Now, try something simple. Sit still. Place your hand on your heart. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. And ask, if I didn't need to be perfect, could today feel softer? Then listen. No need to answer. Just stay inside the question, as if it were a light you could rest in. When the mind only sees what's missing, imagine holding a glass of water. Half full, half empty. You look at it. What do you see? Some say, the glass is half full. Others, it's already half gone. And sometimes, you don't see the water at all. You just feel the thirst. And the thought, this isn't enough. In Buddhist teaching, there's a word, upadana, clinging. It means the mind grabbing for something, to feel complete, clinging to expectations, to results, to the idea of being perfect. And when things fall short, the mind whispers, not enough. I'm not enough. Life is still missing something. The mind loves to compare. Compare you to them. Today to what should be. Now to a memory. But comparison always carries a quiet grief. Yet here's a truth. A glass doesn't need to be full to quench thirst. And you don't need to be complete to be loved. Try this. Take a piece of paper. Write down 3 things you felt not enough about lately. Maybe, I haven't done enough. I haven't cared enough. I haven't lived up to my own hopes. Now, read each line slowly. And ask gently, who decided this was the standard? Whose voice am I trying to please? You might find, it's not your voice, but an old one. From someone who once made you believe your worth depends on performance. If that's true, you can fold the paper gently, place it over your heart, and whisper, thank you for trying to protect me. But I don't need to live like this anymore. Take a deep breath, exhale slowly, and if you feel ready, tear the paper, not to reject it, but to begin again. With softness, from within. When joy feels too risky to hold, imagine lighting a small candle. In the middle of the night, the flame glows, warm, tender, but suddenly, you want to blow it out. Afraid of wind, afraid of fire, afraid it will hurt if it disappears. Have you ever felt this? Joy arrives, but you pull back. Something good happens, but you shrink, because a voice inside whispers, don't get too comfortable. In psychology, there's a name for this. Foreboding joy. It's when happiness shows up, but fear walks in with it. You can't relax. You brace yourself, because deep down, you believe, if I feel too good, something bad will happen. Does that sound familiar? Maybe it comes from the past. When joy ended too soon. When hope was broken, before it bloomed. And so you decided, better not to trust, better not to open. But listen, not all joy disappears. Some joy If you welcome it gently, will stay, quietly, softly, but it stays. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Happiness is available if you just stop and notice that you are breathing. You don't need a perfect life. You don't need to earn it. Joy isn't something you must deserve. It's something you allow. You allow yourself to open, to smile for real, to feel good without guilt. Try this. Place your hand on your chest. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. Now remember a recent moment. Small, quiet, that made you feel light. Maybe sunlight through your window. A favorite song. Laughter from someone you love. Hold that moment, like a candle, inside your heart, and whisper, "This joy is not wrong. I don't need to prepare for pain. Right now, it's safe to feel happy." When we learn to see the good in what's ordinary, have you ever watched a single leaf fall without needing to do anything? Just watching, like a quiet witness to something simple, yet complete. Sometimes, the deepest moments don't come from big events. They come when we are fully here. In something that looks like nothing, the mind often says, "There has to be more. Something special must happen. I need to fix this, change that, reach further." But in Buddhist wisdom, there's a word, sati, mindfulness. It means being fully present, even in the tiniest moment. Washing your hands, sipping tea, walking, breathing. Mindfulness isn't about sitting still for 30 minutes. It's about noticing, right now, what's already here. And in that noticing, you touch life. You might be walking, and suddenly you hear the crisp crunch of leaves beneath your feet. You're eating, and for one breath, you truly taste the sweetness. You're washing dishes, and you feel the warm water sliding across your skin. These aren't empty routines. They are doors into wholeness. Ajahn Brahm said, "Don't try to control, just be still, and you'll find freedom within." If you feel lost, if your heart feels scattered and unsure what to trust, don't try to figure it out. Come back to your breath. The breath asks nothing of you. It is simply there, like a loyal friend, waiting. Try this. Pause for a minute. Place a hand on your belly. Inhale, count 1 to 4. Exhale, count 1 to 6. Repeat slowly, 3 times. Then ask gently, right now, what is already enough that I have not noticed? Maybe it's this breath, your body, still carrying you, the soft light, falling on the floor. You don't need to go farther. You don't need to search harder. The good might already be here, waiting for your presence. When the good is found in what you let go, have you ever held a handful of sand? The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when your palm is open, it stays. We often believe we must hold on tightly to what matters most. We hold on to relationships that no longer lift us. We cling to old versions of ourselves, long outgrown. We grip old dreams, even when our hearts have quietly moved on. We call it trying. But deep inside, it's often fear. Fear of emptiness. Fear of failing. Fear that letting go means losing everything. Ajahn Brahm once said, "Letting go is not losing. It's winning over the fear of loss." And Tara Brach reminds us, letting go isn't giving up. It's allowing life to be as it is. Letting go isn't quitting, it's stopping the grasp on what no longer serves us. Are you holding something just because you're used to holding it? Try this. Write down 3 things you've been holding on to that quietly drain your energy. Maybe a relationship filled with anxiety, a role that hides your true self, an old identity you no longer believe in. Then choose one and ask your heart, if I softened my grip, what might return to me? Maybe peace, maybe space, maybe yourself. Not everything good needs to be kept. Sometimes the best thing is learning not to hold. Try this. Open your hand and look at your empty palm. Imagine gently placing one burden there and releasing it. No drama, no force, just one small act of letting go. And in that quiet space, something kind may enter. When the good is found in simply pausing, have you ever stood on a quiet road with no rush, no goal, just watching the trees sway gently in the wind? Not going anywhere, not needing to, just being. In this modern life, our minds are wired to move, to go faster, do better, reach further. But here's a quiet truth. Not every step forward is the right direction. Sometimes, pausing is the beginning of healing. In Buddhist teaching, there's a word, samatha, calm, stillness. It's not laziness. It's the ground where clarity grows. Without stillness, there is no seeing. Pausing doesn't pull you backward. It brings you home, to this very moment. And here, you might notice the good that's been waiting, quietly, patiently, all along. Are you chasing something without really knowing why? A title? A hidden standard? A version of success you never stopped to question? You don't need the answer now. Just pause. Try this. Find a quiet spot. Sit down. Let your hands rest. No phone. No music. Nothing to fix. Just sit. Allow yourself to do nothing for 3 minutes. If your mind whispers, "This is a waste. You should be productive. This doesn't help," smile gently and whisper back, "Stopping is still doing something." In stillness, you start to hear again. Your body, your breath, the time flowing like a gentle stream. And you realize the good you were searching for was never just at the finish line. It might already be here. In this quiet step, you chose not to rush. When the good is that you can still feel. Have you ever found yourself in tears? Not because of any one thing, but simply because your heart softened? Maybe it was a song from long ago, or the golden light at dusk, falling on an old rooftop. Maybe it was silence, and something deep inside you moved. Many people fear feelings. They fear sadness, fear the ache, fear being too soft. But here's the truth. Feeling doesn't make you weak. It means you're still alive. In psychology, when emotions are suppressed, they turn solid. They become tension, anxiety, unnamed wounds in the body. But emotions that are felt flow. They pass through, like a river, carrying silt and sorrow alike. And for the good to return, we must let the river move. In Buddhist teaching, there's a gentle practice called self-compassion. It's not pity, not indulgence. It's the courage to sit with yourself, even when you're not okay. with kindness. Try this. Find a quiet space. Sit down. Place a hand over your heart. Ask yourself, what is inside me that needs to be felt, but hasn't been allowed? Maybe it's unspoken sadness, the pain of being overlooked, the longing for a hug, even an imagined one. Allow yourself to feel. No explanation, no judgment, just this. Your heart, longing to be touched. A person who can still feel deeply is a person who can heal. You are not frozen. You are not numb. You are simply tired. And now, you are ready to feel again. When the good is simply knowing you're alive. Have you ever placed your hand on your heart and just felt the rhythm? No questions, no goals, just this knowing, I am alive. In hard times, we search for meaning. Why did this happen? What lesson is here? But sometimes, you don't need a lesson. You need a place to stay. A place that doesn't ask, doesn't judge, doesn't need you to move on. Just one quiet truth. You are still breathing, still feeling, still here. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "The miracle is not to walk on water. It is to walk on this earth, aware that you are walking, aware that every step is real, every breath, real, every feeling rising in you, real. And in that realness, you begin to see the good again. Not because it's big, but because it's true. Try this. Stand up. Let your bare feet touch the ground. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, feel the floor holding you. You don't need to fix anything. Just stand and whisper, I am alive. I am here. You don't need to be more than that. Because sometimes, the most beautiful thing is simply knowing you're still here, still breathing, still present. You've come far enough, now let your shoulders rest. Imagine, dawn has just begun. Not bright, not loud, just soft light, gently breathing across the sky. And you, in your quiet room, exhale slowly. Have your shoulders grown tired? Has your heart wandered through quiet roads, carrying stories you never spoke aloud? There are worries without words, sorrows without names, and whether you feel okay or not, tonight, just offer yourself this gentle truth. I've tried. I've truly tried. No need to do more. No need to fix anything. No need to plan for tomorrow. Just know, you've lived, you've felt, you're still here. Maybe you once believed that healing had to be grand. But sometimes, it's just one deep breath, one quiet minute, one imagined embrace, one whisper in the dark. I'm not broken. I'm just tired. Ajahn Brahm once said, don't do letting go. Let go of doing. And Tara Brach reminds us, when we truly let go and let be, we reconnect with our natural aliveness. So tonight, no more effort. Try this. Sit or lie down gently. Place one hand over your heart, one hand on your belly. Close your eyes, and imagine someone beside you. Not speaking, just being there, safe, still. Then whisper to yourself, you've come far enough. Now let your shoulders rest. Just for a while. No need to be strong. No need to rise above anything right now. Just be here, unpolished, whole, breathing. A leaf doesn't have to soar. It only needs to fall at the right moment. And you don't need to impress the world. Maybe what you need is to simply be here, unrushed, uncompared, unjudged, just present, softly real. And if tears come, let them. They are not weakness. They are your return. Tomorrow, life will begin again. Work, voices, rhythms. But here, in this small, sacred space, tell yourself gently, I'm allowed to pause. I'm allowed to feel light. I'm allowed to be happy. For no reason at all. If this podcast touched something quiet in you, keep it close, like a small stone in your pocket. And if you feel moved, share it with someone you love. Someone who may also be tired. Someone who may need a soft voice. To remind them, you're not alone.